Nominee Air Force General Michael Hayden met with senators today on Capitol Hill. His confirmation hearing starts next Thursday. He visited Nebraska Senator Chuck Hagel, and they spoke to reporters for just under 10 minutes.
Hello, good morning. General Hayden and I just had a good conversation about the issues that are going to be addressed in the hearings next week. I look forward to General Hayden's coming before the committee. I think General Hayden does. It'll give General Hayden an opportunity to answer some tough questions and inform and educate, explain. That's what hearings are about. And with that, thank you, sir, for coming by, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week.
See you next Thursday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Does General Hayden, excuse me.
I was just a sergeant.
I'm sorry.
I am intimidated around General.
Let me start that all over again. Does General Hayden have your support?
He does have my support. I think he is the right choice. I think it's a wise choice. That doesn't mean that I'll go easy with him and on him with questions. He's going to get tough questions. He knows that. He wants tough questions. But he has my support. And I, again, think at a very critical time of the history of the CIA in the intelligence community in this country, he is exactly the kind of professional that we need to be taking on this big job.
Senator, do you think with the reports yesterday of a widespread collection of call records that hearings are necessary prior to the confirmation hearings to clear up what exactly is going on?
Well, I think hearings will be held. Senator Specter has talked about bringing some of the telephone company executives before the Judiciary Committee. I think that's appropriate. I think this issue needs to be clearly aired. The American people need to have confidence in their government and their government's agencies, and know that not only are we protecting the rights enshrined in the Constitution, but we are protecting the security interests of this country.
Should those hearings precede the confirmation hearings?
Oh, I don't think so. I think we need to get a new CIA director in place, and we need to have those hearings. And I'm glad that we're having those hearings next week.
Senator, is there a good balance now between protecting rights of privacy and domestic concerns?
Well, those are the questions we're going to be getting into some detail with General Hayden and others during the hearings, and I don't want to get into those specific questions here. General Hayden actually has another meeting. And
General, if we could just ask you, sir, what do you say to the millions of Americans who perhaps feel now that the U.S. government is spying, is listening in on their conversations?
Well, I'm not going to comment on the article that appeared in USA Today yesterday. Let me say once again, though, that everything that the agency has done has been lawful. It's been briefed to the appropriate members of Congress, that the only purpose of the agency's activities is to preserve the security and the liberty of the American people. And I think we've done that.
General, are you looking forward to the General? Do you think the hearings will help clear some of that up?
We have to
I'm
go.
looking forward to the hearings, JJ. Yes, I am.
He's got a meeting with one of my senior colleagues, I think, and they'll never speak to me again. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, General. I'll see you next week. Thank you for coming.
Some Democrats and Senator Specter to some extent suggest that because the administration has not been forthcoming on any of these programs, that this hearing should be used as some leverage to try to get some information before the Senate acts on this confirmation.
Oh, I think the administration clearly understands that there are a lot of questions up here on Capitol Hill, and this hearing for General Hayden will be used, in fact, to ask some of these tough questions, both, I suspect, in the open hearing, but especially in the closed hearing.
Are you concerned about these reports, about this vast collection of call records?
Yes, I am concerned about it. We want information, and we will ask the questions, and we'll get the answers.
Are you concerned about the legality of it, or?
Well, I'm concerned about all of it. I need to understand, I think like all of us, why did they do it? Who did it? What's the end product? What are the consequences? What could happen? Who controls it? Who sees this information? Explain to us how this, in fact, helps fight terrorism.
Did the General explain any of that to you?
We didn't get into the depth of that. We talked about more general issues. He's going to have many hours to explain all of this.
It seemed that just a few days ago, before this program was divulged, it was a question more of his independence from the military, and now it seems to have turned that on its head. Is there still a question for you of his independence from Secretary Rumsfeld?
General Hayden has a very clear record on speaking his mind to the Secretary of Defense. I have absolute confidence in General Hayden's independence as directed by his office and how he would serve in the interests of the Director of the Central Intelligence Agency. I think he is one of the finest officers we have in our government. I think he is one of the most experienced intelligence officers, maybe the most experienced. I have never heard one question about integrity, character, straightforwardness, and that is an essential part of this job, and I mentioned that to him.
To follow up for appearances, should he resign as a military?
I don't think so. If he believes, once he is confirmed and on the job, and I believe he will be, and I will support him, if that is inhibiting his relationship with the people that he leads, then he'll need to make that call. But this is not an unprecedented event. The people who he will need to lead and direct at the CIA are professionals. They will judge him not on whether he comes from a military background or whether he wears a uniform or not. They will judge him on the criteria of leadership. Is he capable? Is he honest? Is he able? And can he lead? And that's as it should be. So it doesn't bother me that he's an Air Force general.
Senator Hagel, what is the status of the legislation that you and Senator DeWine and Senator Snowe came up with? Did he address that at all? Is he open to something, some type of what Specter calls a FISA fix at all?
Ken, we didn't get into those specifics. He's well aware of that legislation. He knows my position. I told him that, and I've said this publicly, that certainly technology has put us in a new universe. The 1978 FISA law is outdated. I think we need a new framework of laws and regulations that in fact bring all this up into the 21st century. New threats, new technologies, and we need a law, a framework of regulations so that our intelligence community, our experts, can work within the legality of those new laws so that they don't have to continually be jerked around by, well, you broke this law or you didn't do this. Let them do their jobs, but we owe that to them, the policymakers. We need to come up with a new law that gives them a framework of legality to work within so that there is very clear understanding of the efforts that they're making on behalf of the security interests of this country, that it's legal.
Do you think the fact that he was in charge of the NSA when these surveillance programs got going, especially this one of collecting phone records, complicates his confirmation hearings any further?
Well, it's going to be a part of it. There's no question about it. He's going to have to explain what his role was to start with. Did he put that program forward? Whose idea was it? Why was it started? He knows that. He welcomes those questions. He knows that he's not going to be confirmed without answering those questions. Whether that will be a complicating factor or just a factor remains to be seen.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.